Recently, the Republican president was on tour of duty in Southern Province, where he went to inspect some developmental projects going on in Southern Province. And well, aside from him receiving a thunderous welcome, we also had issues in Southern Province, as we had also other people supporting a different political party booing the Republican president. Now, that has raised quite a number of issues, obviously with the Patriotic Front coming out on the open with so much displeasure and asking the opposition to obviously apologize for what happened. However, the opposition has also said no, because booing is part of democracy. And they've also highlighted a number of other examples of past Republican presidents who were once booed. Joining me on the breakfast show is Mr. Chendela Mukondo, who is from the media team of the Patriotic Front, just to get an overview on that particular subject and why they feel whatever happened in Southern Province was disrespect in its highest order for the Republican presidency. Comrade, it's been a long time.
Thanks.
I was even thinking maybe my comrade has gone into self-quarantine.
No. We are still around. I'm just happy that at least the numbers, they are not as bad as it was. And I think though we have found that maybe there are times when you find that 16 cases. So we continue asking our friends and everybody there that we remain very much vigilant, and we continue following the international standards. But otherwise, as you have rightly said, it's now normal, it's open, and the scenario which you have talked about, it's quite interesting. But otherwise, I'm happy to be here. It's very humbling.
Recently, when Health Minister Dr. Chendela was announcing the increase in the number of people who are dead, who have died as a result of COVID-19, I think he also emphasized on the aspect of complacency. There has been complacency recently on the part of the general public, especially where social distancing is concerned, masking up, which has contributed to Zambia recording more cases in the last 2 weeks.
Yes. No, I'm happy, especially with the QTV. It has been consistent on that one. So you have been doing a lot of work, and I would want to give you a pat on the back that you continue sensitizing our people. And the same general, is it complacency? That's what has also happened elsewhere. It's not only in Zambia, but also in countries like Brazil, where you find that even the president himself, he has the virus, but he says it's a little flu. So we don't need to have such when it comes to Zambia. We are happy that as at now, all the leadership, be it opposition or in Zambia, they have accepted that COVID is real. But it's scary when we look at what is happening in South Africa, because we are very close to South Africa. It can find that we can have a recurring effect, and economically wise, it affected us very badly. But as you have rightly said, this general complacency, it's a one which media team like you yourself, QTV, it's always you should be talking, preaching to the people that they continue masking up and moving according to the international standards.
Recently, the Republican president was in Southern Province. A thunderous welcome, obviously, when he visited the province to check on some developmental projects going on. But on the other hand, we had some booing voices coming through from the opposition, UPND, suspected UPND cadres. Just your general perspective when it comes to that.
Generally, I would want to be very historical about this thing of, is it fighting the ruling government? Historically, if you look at our first Republican president, Kenneth Kaunda, used the non-violence mean to win our independence. Even when you had some other, like Ankh on the other side, which used to be very violent. And unfortunately, Ankh also, it is attributed to the people who come from the south, because it was being headed by a southerner, Nkumbula. It used to exhibit such behavior. But I remember very well, Kaunda was very good at restraining his people, that it was important that we fight the independence using non-violent means. And you saw what happened. They had to win the independence using non-violence means, and we recorded no incidents of booing or insulting the relevant authorities. Apart from some where you find that a woman will undress just to do it in protest, which is also another dynamic. So from there, from independence, you can get back maybe to 2001, where Chiruba wanted to have his own candidate to go ahead. They tried to bully him, to do everything, to shut him up. They even said his third term failed. But at the end of the day, if you look at it, Mwanawasa was his candidate. On the day, he won the presidential election. In 2006, it was the same. If you find, is it 2004, somewhere there, Mwanawasa even complained about the same at the airport there. The same Choma Monze, you find that people are busy booing him. But the more they booed him, the more he became very popular. The most recent one, which was 2006, which I think they had organized some cadres in Soweto area somewhere there. The president was coming from Mumumba Road. They booed him. But at the end of the day, what happened when the election came in 2006? Mwanawasa had even gained a bigger margin. That is a true indicator that the people of Zambia, they know the narrative. They are a peaceful people. They would want a party which has a manifesto, a party which can bring forth suggestion, not booing the incumbent president or embarrassing the authorities. Because in this case, you know, when you are doing such, you are putting pressure not on the ruling party itself, but on the security wings. So, if you are putting pressure on the security wings, do you think the security wings will be happy with such a political party?
Is it wrong to boo a president in public?
It's very wrong to boo a president in public because
why?
That's not a democracy at all. Democracy entails that we view our, we bring forth our differences, we discuss them in parliament, we discuss them even in forums like platform like this. So basically, the booing is that one of showing arrogance and disrespect of the presidency itself.
Comrade, look at what happens in Parliament. Exactly. Look at what happens in Parliament. Maybe that's where the general idea of booing comes from, because members of Parliament themselves in the House, they do boo each other when, you know, someone is making a point of which the other company or the other party is not in accordance. They would go like, yeah. And
yes,
stuff
yes.
Like, maybe the general public is picking it up from there, and they feel it's a democratic method as well of, as the other party has said, of displaying your displeasure. You
are very correct. In Parliament, that is a controlled environment, and normally there is a norm. And those norms you cannot go beyond or what. But in our case, where you find that the Republican president is there on a developmental tour or commissioning very important assets to the general public, and who is going to benefit? It's the same people of Southern Province who are benefiting. But in this case, how do you find the people, they go, we want change, we want change. For what change are you looking for? Because the change can only be done through the ballot box. So basically, the booing itself, in a controlled environment like Parliament, it's allowed. But not where you are an instant where you mobilize, get some few jerry cans of beer, you give your cadres, and then you say, no, I want to dent the visit there. It's very unfortunate. It's sowing a very bad seed. And you have seen what has happened. Others in Kasama, they are saying, you have also made a no-fly zone for the same man. The other one on the Copperfield, they are still saying the same. The other one on, you go to Eastern Province, they are saying the same language. So basically, wouldn't want to encourage such, because at the end of the day, the people are going to suffer. It's the opposition themselves. Because if you look at the ruling party, the president himself, he enjoys almost 80% if you are to look at the provinces.
Let's talk about, maybe let's look at the perception that people should have, especially when they hear that the president is visiting. It could be their stronghold or the stronghold, perceived stronghold of another party. What perception should people have?
The general perception which should be on the ground is that this is our president. That is number one. Our Republican president represents everyone. And democracy entails that when there is an election, people who have divergent views, and who have their different voices, and they cast. And whoever emerges winner, it's important that at that particular time, even those who have lost an election, they accept the results. So if they accept the result, it will help to create that general picture or perception that this one who is now ruling is the Republican president. But the unfortunate part is that our friends, they have created that general perception of we had been at war. The other one has not been accepted. The other one is an opposition leader or a president in a shadow way. But just generally what is important is that let the people know that we only have one president at one time, at a time.
Interesting. So now, for the opposition, they never really saw anything wrong in there, but instead they have given an excuse of saying that they booed the president because their party president's billboards were being removed.
Well, I think those are lame duck excuses, because at the end of the day, have they shown us those billboards which have been removed of their Republican, or is it their party president? And besides that, is this an election period? You find that why should you have, that's another an anomaly. You are not supposed to have any election billboards to show. When are we going to have an election? It's in 2021. 2021, that's when we are going to have an election. So that's another illegality that they are trying to bring out. Because basically, this is not a campaign period. The Electoral Commission only allows 90 days, according to the Republican Constitution, in which to do the electioning itself.
Should the president take offense?
Well,
should he feel disrespected? Should he feel to say what people in Southern Province are not, or people from the perceived UPND are disrespecting him?
You know, we have one president who is very mature, who is above decisive politics. He is very mature in the sense that he has always talked about peace and reconciliation. He has talked about understanding each other and been moving as one. Otherwise, what happened some time back, is it in 2017, if you remember very well, where we had the, coming from Barossa and there, where we had the same opposition leader moving, almost hitting into the presidential motorcade. And you know what it resulted into. So we do not want to repeat such things or scenarios. But one Edgar Chagwarungu is above that. Is above that, and he knows that we have such opposition leader who at the end of the day will never even tender in an apology or have the guts to control his cadres. Because
do you expect the UPND to apologize?
No, they have never apologized, and they will never apologize. That's their character. That's the character of the man who is ruling them. He thinks having such confrontations makes him to have at least a bit of political mileage here and there. So we are very disappointed that we don't have a political party that can restrain its cadres from such embarrassing moments.
With them, they feel that wasn't violence, so they don't expect you guys to perhaps act in a violent manner.
I don't know what somebody would not qualify such a behavior as not violence. Because what I know, it starts from such behavior. Tomorrow it will be looting. Tomorrow it will graduate into, in fact, maybe stoning of the president. So basically, we're asking our colleagues to apologize and at the same time to show leadership that they inculcate Christianity values into their cadres.
Do you expect the Republican president to go back to Southern Province after what happened?
Why not? Why not? He has been in Southern Province several times, and it's not the first time that they have behaved like that. And besides, we have been winning them. Even in 2016, the president went there. And at one time, the Monza people, they are very violent, and unfortunately. And that's why they think it's the head office or headquarters for the UPND. So, he's a Republican president for everyone. And besides, We have the four wings of security, which are every day in charge of this country. So we don't expect the president, just because of a few individuals, disgruntled people, or these UPND who have been fighting the ruling government for the past 22 years. They have been in opposition for the past 22 years. Everybody has been going there. And our president, Eith, will keep on going there. And you know, very soon we'll be also seeing that by August, this 750 megawatts power station, it will be commissioned. So you expect the president to be in Southern Province very soon. So in Chikankati.
Finally, earlier you talked about the response that now has come from other perceived patriotic front strongholds like in Northern Province, Eastern Province, and of course in other parts, where they've also drawn the line. Well, from what it seems like now you guys you want eye for an eye. Is that the approach that you're going to take?
Well, I think the General Secretary has already given us a true position of the way we view things. And it's very simple. For us, we cannot imitate him. We cannot imitate the evils. We cannot imitate the evils that they are doing. But basically, you expect those who are on a provincial level to behave like that. But from the leadership, starting from State House there, they know, they have already spoken to everybody. We don't entertain that. Democracy, we would want others to participate. So with us, we don't champion that cause. But you expect the youths, because they are also seeing what is happening.
So are you going to let it happen?
We are not going to let it happen. We are a ruling party. We are responsible enough, and we know that we have never behaved like that. And it has never happened. We can just hear that they're just giving him warning shots. But that is not the picture that we would want to be entertained across the nation, because we know that the PF is very popular. And in my preamble, I talked about the history. The Zambian people, they understand the narrative. They want a president who loves peace. They want a political which loves peace. And this is why in 2011, on the same premise of Don't Kubeba, we were non-violent. We won the political realm to the ruling party. So even now, even if he's hearing in Northern Province, they have won him, Eastern Province, they have won him, Lusaka, they have won him, we know that those are our youths who are saying that. But at the end of the day, the General Secretary who advise all the parties, because we believe in democracy, and we believe that what we are doing today will market PF, not what we can counter or block him, because we know he has nothing to offer. He has no developmental agenda for this country. He has no manifesto.
Is that an assurance that the opposition can visit your stronghold and be able to speak to their own people without being attacked or anything?
They are very free. They are very free. We have never attacked them. Remember very well, just the most recent by-election in Chirubi, they were there, but they were looking for Wi-Fi. They were busy in lodges. Instead of going out to campaign, they failed. They failed on their own. They came out with excuses. These are our strongholds. We have never participated. Remember, we had the Sesheke, where we had the worst scenario of violence there. And remember, when people are busy talking about when Chirubi Island come, we are going to do the same. We advise our people there. No, ourselves, we are a peaceful party. We believe in democracy. We believe in the rule of law. We believe that everybody needs to participate. We never, not even one, was attacked.
Well, Mr. Chendela, thank you so much for coming through, and thank you so much for making an appearance on the Breakfast Show.
I'm humbled. It's such a wonderful experience to be here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
All right, so from the ruling patriotic front, Mr. Chendela Mkondo from the media team came through just to come and clarify on a number of issues that have brought a lot of tension between the UPND and, of course, the PF in relation to the booing of the president in Southern Province. The Breakfast Show continues.